ndi umunyamakuru w'imikino kuri Radio Imanzi. Nge nk'umusportif nifatanije n'abanyarwanda bose kwibuka ku nshuro ya 28 jenoside yakorewe abatutsi 1994.
We got you updated. This is Radio Imanzi News in English.
This is Radio Imanzi, broadcasting from Kigali. Here is the news in English, brought to you by Fiona Umuganwa. The headlines. President Paul Kagame has arrived in the Republic of Congo for a 3-day state visit. The youth in Gicumbi district have been urged to fight against people who want to disseminate genocide ideology through social media platforms. The Rwanda Investigation Bureau has released preliminary investigation findings in an incident where a grenade exploded in Kicukiro district. 20 Tanzanian police officers fell victim to an online scam. Now the news in detail. President Paul Kagame has arrived in the Republic of Congo for a 3-day state visit from April 11th to 13th, according to this presidency. In a statement, the head of state held a tete-a-tete with his counterpart, Denis Sassou Nguesso, followed by a bilateral meeting alongside other delegations. The representatives from both delegations will sign memorandum of understanding in areas of mutual cooperation. The agreements are expected to touch on areas such as political and economic cooperation as well as trade. Top on the agenda, President Kagame is also expected to address a joint session of both the Senate and the Chamber of Deputies that make up the Congolese Congress. After visiting Brazzaville, both presidents were held to Oyo in the Kuwait region. According to the statement, this visit devotes once again the deep friendship between the two heads of state and mainly the commendable quality of cooperation between Congo and Rwanda. The visit is the second of its kind after the one that President Kagame had in Congo Brazzaville in 2010. Media audience has been asked to raise the capacity of differentiating the truth from false information disseminated across various platforms in this time when anything can be shared by the use of technology. This was shared during a discussion on the role of media before, during and after the genocide. The topic is part of discussions prepared as Rwanda commemorates the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi for the 28th time. From the debut of journalism in Rwanda by the first newspapers in 1933 called Nyamateka to Rwanda television, to Radio Television Libre de Mid-Colline, media experts discussed the negative ways through which media played a major role in inciting people to commit genocide. Arguably, the fourth estate, people have for a long time regarded information disseminated by any media house as true without question, which when under negative government leads people into destructive mentality and actions. In a new era, Jean Bosco Rushingabigwe, head of Department for Media Sector Coordination, monitoring at Rwanda Governance Board, said that it is now hard to differentiate between professional journalism and citizen journalism because of modern technologies. You often find that unprofessional media channels are the most viewed and in most cases result in negative consequences because of lack of ethics and guidelines. He then disclosed that there is a need to revise media policies in place to also include the rising spread of citizen journalism, such as users of YouTube channels and other social media platforms. Raphael Nhaka, a researcher and lecturer at the University of Rwanda, emphasized that the freedom of press goes hand in hand with professionalism. Journalists have to abide by the code of ethics and understand that they have a social responsibility in what they do. Rushingabigwi said that the policy of self-regulation of media outlets is good but poses a challenge to practitioners. It all starts on self-assessment as a professional journalist. Start by asking yourself whether the information you are going to disseminate is complete, accurate, and think of the impact it will have on society. He added, now efforts are geared towards ensuring that all institutions involved are contributing to media self-regulation process to have a media profession that fulfills its responsibilities effectively. The Rwanda Investigation Bureau has released preliminary investigation findings in an incident where a grenade exploded in Kicukiro district, saying that there was no intention to kill someone. Thierry Murangira, RIB spokesperson, said the joint investigation conducted with security organs showed that the grenade that exploded on April 7th in Indachimwa village, Niboi sector in Kicukiro, was found in construction materials kept in the home of Idris Twagirimana. The explosion injured Twagirimana's daughter, who is being hospitalized at University Teaching Hospital of Kigali, Sehashika. The residents of this home mistook it as a construction tool. It exploded when the kids were playing with it, injuring one of them, Murangira said. However, he said these are primary findings, adding investigations are still ongoing as the injured kid is being taken care of by medical doctors. Murangira added that preliminary investigations also established that there is no link with the previously reported story in the media that the grenade was thrown by a person with the intention to kill someone. Artists in Rwanda have observed that their skills and creations have the potential of showing visitors the truth about Rwanda's past and culture, enabling them to return to their home countries and help to fight those who negate and deny genocide against the Tutsi. This comes as Rwanda prepares to host the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in June. Local artists understand that the skills they possess can do more than just create beautiful pieces of art. Paul Bidunji Master Jape, chairman of Ipfundo Art, knows that the artists have been busy preparing art pieces for Chogam.
We have bigger pieces for the art gallery. So right now, our artists are busy preparing smaller sized sort of art pieces which are easy to carry for visitors. So they are thinking very hard, you know, they are very creative and they work at night best. So they are thinking of Chogam, they are thinking of kinds of people that are coming, they are thinking of the theme of Chogam, and they are coming up with different art pieces in small sizes. So as soon as we approach, in any case, if the government or the people in charge of the preparation of Chogam approach us, they'll find us ready.
Rwanda has always had a rich culture of art, and today artists see it as yet another tool in the economic drive.
I like writing, and I came as a writer, and I didn't know it was possible to find a place like this in Rwanda. It helped me grow a lot. I do a couple of projects every now and then, and it's also going to help me financially because I've already started earning a bit of money straight from high school. So, and it's garnering me experience that I'll use later on in life.
In the schools of arts and languages, yeah, I'll join this creative industry, and I would like to emphasize on the help I get from here, and to encourage youth to invest in this creative industry too.
In 2016, Africa's artisans industry employed more than 500,000 people and generated revenue amounting to more than $4.2 billion. The remains of 315 victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi have been interred at the Gatenye Genocide Memorial in Buranga, Gatenye district. In a ceremony held during genocide commemoration, the genocide victims whose remains were found in different parts of Gatenye were accorded a decent burial. At the Gatenye Genocide Memorial, survivors and families of the victims also mourned the untimely death of Tutsis who were killed in the district. Speaking at the ceremony, Gaspard Twagirayezu, the Minister of State in the Ministry of Education, said that beside honoring genocide victims, Rwandans have to fight genocide ideology in order to protect the country's achievements in national unity. The Gatenye Genocide Memorial Site was opened in 2014. A total of 1,571 victims had been interred there until Sunday, when the additional 315 victims who were killed in different parts of the district were buried. As she comforted survivors, Dansini Nyirarugero, the governor of the northern province, also called upon residents to provide information about the whereabouts of genocide victims who are yet to be found and buried. Genocide survivors in Gatenye said the burial of the victims in the district memorial enables them to honor their relatives. The Kwibuka Week will end on April 13th. However, commemoration activities of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, in which more than 1 million people were killed, will continue for 100 days until July 3rd, the eve of Liberation Day. Genocide survivors in Rubavu district have asked for responsible authorities to establish a monument at Muhungu Hill in Kanama sector in honor of victims who were killed there and the unique history that characterizes the area. The request was raised during the 28th commemoration of the genocide against the Tutsi in the district, the first time the ceremony was held on this hill that was part of the Gishwati Forest Reserve. Despite this being a killing ground of thousands in 1994, there is no memorial or sign in place in honor of lives lost there. According to Jared Barushimana, the head of Ibuka in Rubavu district, a lot of Tutsi from the former communes of Kanama, Gaseke, Mutura, Karago, Ramba, Kayove gathered at the mountain seeking for safety. According to Ibuka, they only have information on 260 victims, but it is believed those who were killed at the hill could have been in their thousands. The youth in Gitumbi district have been urged to fight against people who want to disseminate genocide ideology through social media platforms. This was reiterated at the Gitumbi district as the Gitumbi district commemorated the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi on Monday. There are still people living outside Rwanda who harbor hatred, propagate genocide ideology and spread false information denying the genocide against the Tutsi. Nzabonima Emmanuel, the mayor of Gitumbi district, urged the country's youth not to ignore those who commit such heinous acts, but to use social media to educate them. The youth present at the event committed to put more effort in seeking information on what happened during the genocide to be able to counter such narratives.
Some items of international news on Radio Imanzi.
Welcome back. Moving on. More than 20 police officers are alleged to have been defrauded by an imposter who identified himself as a major general in the Tanzania People's Defense Force. The incident that has sent shockwaves in the police force is the first of its kind in the country, considering the fact that the police force is responsible with cybercrime. It is, however, alleged that the suspect, masquerading as a top military brass, managed to hit officers in their own backyard without being detected and in the process getting away with hundreds of thousands. This past week, Somalia was concluding the much-delayed polls by awarding elected legislators their certificates of victory. And then 3 things happened to upset the seemingly quiet political period. 1. A key member of the federal government, the Southwest state, distanced itself from the electoral program, accusing Prime Minister Hussein Robo of undercutting federal regions. 2. The National Spy Agency, National Intelligence and Security Agency NISA, warned of an imminent attack on both the Prime Minister and President Mohammed. And 3, the Prime Minister and President disagreed in public on whether to expel an envoy of the African Union or not. These 3 issues, observers said, are just a summary of the chaos in Somalia and also indicate the working relations between key government agencies. Jacob Zuma has continued his bid to remove the lead prosecutor from the highly anticipated corruption trial against the former South African president and commenced on Monday. Mr. Zuma faces multiple charges of fraud, racketeering and money laundering relating to a $2 billion 1990s arms deal with several European companies. He is charged alongside French company Thales. Both deny the charges, which Zuma claims are a witch hunt by political rivals. Ivorian soccer star Didier Drogba and 5 others have filed their candidacy for the presidency of the Ivorian Football Federation. According to Miriam Dao-Gabala, president of the 5th Normalization Committee, the filing of candidacies for the presidency of the Ivorian Football Federation is closed. 6 candidates have been registered. They are Iyate Elele Jean-Baptiste, Arnaud Eke, Doran Kouakou, Idriss Diallo, Sodi Diabate, and Didier Drogba. The Migration Museum in London is opening an exhibition dedicated to migrant entrepreneurs in the UK, spanning from brands like Deliveroo to local business owners. Through various listening booths, videos and displays, visitors get to understand the company's overseas origins. The museum tells stories like that of Dyke and Trident, the first multi-million-pound black-owned business in the UK. The exhibition includes famous brand names like Deliveroo, founded by a Taiwanese-American man working in the city who was frustrated with the lack of options for dinner when he was working late. The museum is designed to look familiar and approachable, a key criterion for the curator, since the museum itself is located within a shopping center. The French President Emmanuel Macron declared Monday that he wants to convince a broad range of French voters to back his centrist vision, kicking off a 2-week battle against far-right challenger Marine Le Pen ahead of the country's presidential runoff vote. Le Pen, meanwhile, is ready for the fight, planning to highlight rising prices for energy and food that have hit poorer households, especially hard recently, as Macron has focused his efforts in seeking diplomatic solutions to the war in Ukraine. The 2 candidates came up on top in Sunday's first-round presidential vote, setting up an April 24th replay of their duel in 2017. Macron trounced Le Pen 5 years ago in the presidential runoff, but all opinion polls show the leader of the National Rally is much closer this time to a potential win. Russia claimed that it destroyed several air defense systems in Ukraine over the weekend in what appeared to be a renewed push to gain air superiority and take out weapons Kiev has described as crucial ahead of a broad new offensive in the east. In one strike announced Monday, Moscow said that it hit 4 S-300 launchers provided by a European country it didn't name.
Economic news is a regular feature on Radio Imanzi.
Moving Moving on ahead, the Rwanda Stock Exchange Market Report. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 10,100,000 Rwandan francs worth of bonds traded in one deal on the fixed income market and 2,724,100 Rwandan francs from 24,900 shares traded in 4 deals on the equities market. Bank of Kigali closed the counter at 250 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 375,000 Rwandan francs from 1,500 shares traded in 2 deals. I&M Bank counter closed the counter at 44 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 391,600 Rwandan francs from 8,900 shares traded in 1 deal. Bredgo closed the counter at 135 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 1,957,000 Rwandan francs from 14,500 shares traded in 1 deal. Simergo closed the counter at 120 Rwandan francs, MTN Rwanda at 180 Rwandan francs, Equity Bank at 440 Rwandan francs, Kenya Commercial Bank at 370 Rwandan francs, National Media Group at 1,200 Rwandan francs, Uturi Supermarket at 104 Rwandan francs, and RH Buffalo closed the counter at 526 Rwandan francs as the market closed. The currency market review of today. The Kenyan shilling buying price was 8.7 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 8.9 Rwandan francs. Tanzanian shilling buying price was 0.43 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 0.44 Rwandan francs. Ugandan shilling buying price was 0.28 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 0.29 Rwandan francs. Burundian franc buying price was 0.49 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 0.5 Rwandan francs. The US dollar buying price was 1,008 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 1,029 Rwandan francs. The British pound buying price was 1,313 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 1,339 Rwandan francs. The euro buying price was 1,098 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 1,120 Rwandan francs. With that, we come to the end of tonight's edition.